Hey everybody, Jeremy here, and in this video I'm going to be making pulled pork with crispy biscuits inside of the Ninja Foodi. This is another one of those recipes that you can find in the official Ninja Foodi recipe book that comes with the machine, and it's also quite easy to make. The only thing about this particular recipe is that it's also going to take some time to complete. It's going to be about an hour. So if you're starving right now, maybe this is a recipe that you should hold off on. But if you have a little bit of time, let me show you exactly what you need to do to put this dish together. So this is the pork shoulder that I'm going to be using. It's about 2.7 pounds. The recipe calls for it to be about 2.5 to 3 pounds. So what I'm going to do with this is I'm going to cut it. I'm going to cut it into cubes, roughly about 2-inch cubes. And I'm also going to try to trim some of this fat off of it as well. So this may take a minute, so I'm just going to go ahead and do that. And then we'll be able to throw it in the pot with some seasoning and let the pressure cooking do most of the work. So we got our pork all cut up, and now we just have to add the spices and the liquid before we start pressure cooking. So to this, I'm going to add 1 cup of apple cider vinegar. And then as for our spices, I have like a little concoction going on here. This is 2 tablespoons of barbecue seasoning and 1 tablespoon of garlic powder and 2 teaspoons of kosher salt. And we're going to put that over in there. All right. I'm going to use my tongs here to just sort of give this a little bit of stirring up so that everything can get nice and mixed. Do highly recommend, because I did actually go out and get one of these with the silicone over the tips so that you can really work inside of this ceramic basket and not worry about scratching it. All right, cool. We are done with this. Now we got to put this pot into the Foodi so we can start pressure cooking, and that is going to take the longest time. Going to put our pressure cooking lid on, turn this thing on, and we are going to do pressure on high for 35 minutes. Make sure that that's sealed. It is. Hit start. And that's where I'm going to leave you for now. So it's going to come up to pressure. It might take about 10 minutes or so. I'll let you know. And then we'll just let this roll for 35 minutes. So I will see you then. All right, so that was 35 minutes, and it did take about 10 minutes for it to come up to pressure, so 45 minutes total. So right now we need to release the pressure. Quick release. All right, so see what we are working with. That's looking pretty good, I think, and it's also smelling good. But we are not done yet. So next thing I need to do is I need to hit the sear and saute function on here and bring it down to medium high. And we need to add a 6-ounce can of tomato paste. So I just got some Hunt's tomato paste, and we're just gonna plop it down in here. So let's just give this a good stir. Mix in all of this tomato paste. And the goal here is to just kind of let it simmer for about 10 minutes or so and try to get some of this liquid to reduce by about half. And at the same time, after that is done, we're going to shred this pork. As you can see, it's already very, very tender, and it's pretty much coming apart by itself, but we're going to get another utensil in there so that we can really shred it up. So I'm going to babysit this for about 10 minutes, and then I'll come back. I wanted to pop back in to tell you that it's actually tender enough to not even need a second utensil. Only thing that I've been doing with these tongs is just grabbing the pork and just squeezing it. And it is just shredding and coming apart all by itself. So look at that. You can just see all that shredded goodness in there. So yeah, you don't even need to have a second utensil. If you got some tongs like this, just bring these out and just clamp, clamp, clamp. That's all you need to do. So that liquid has reduced quite a bit. So we are pretty much there. So now let's bring out those biscuits. Next, I've got me a tube of biscuits. Now these are jumbo biscuits, and I wanted to get these because you have to tear these apart like hamburger buns to put them on top of the meat. And I just find that to be easier with these jumbo biscuits. Now, it calls for a 6-ounce can. I have a 16-ounce can. So I'm just going to take out as many biscuits as I can so that I can cover all the pork, and then we'll be able to crisp it. I just tore apart the large biscuit like this, and I'm just going to set it down on top. And I'm going to do that for every single biscuit. Well, at least as many as I can so that we can cover the pork. So it doesn't take much to tear these apart. Since these are the larger biscuits, I do find it easier to tear apart. So that's all the biscuits that I'm going to do. I do have some left over, but I can always make these in the Ninja Foodi in the morning for regular biscuits, and that is pretty easy to do. So now we just need to close this up so that we can bake the biscuits. And turn it back on, hit the bake roast function, 350 degrees for 10 minutes. We're going to check it in 8. If they're not done in 8, then we'll let it go the full 10. That's just about 8 minutes. Let's take a look at these. Those do look done to me. Let me just take my finger and stick it right in the middle of one of these to make sure that it's not doughy. Yep, we are good. You know, it kind of reminds me of like sloppy Joe in a bowl using pork instead of ground beef. So yeah, something that's very simplistic. But let's just break into this because I haven't even tasted the meat yet. So let's just see how all this tastes together. Super hot, so I gotta blow it. Oh, that pork is really tender. And that apple cider vinegar gives it a little bit of a tang. It's got a little bit of a tang going on. And then that barbecue seasoning really does help it to taste really more like barbecue. So it's a good combination of seasoning here. And then the biscuits, I think, are just there to sort of add texture to it, make it a little bit more hearty. What you could end up doing is just making sandwiches with it or whatever else that you want to do with pulled pork. So yeah, this overall, this takes about an hour or so in order to pull off, which I understand could be considered quite long for something that's this simple in the end. But if you got time and you're just looking to make sandwiches that will last you for most of the week, if you're taking them to lunch or something, then this will be something good for you to do. You know, I wouldn't make this for dinner, but I would make it so that I can have things to eat throughout the week. So yeah, that's what this is good for, and it totally works. So that's it, guys. That's pulled pork with crispy biscuits in the Ninja Foodi. So thank you all so much for watching this, and until next time, I'm Jeremy, and I will talk to you later.